on time, the importance of punctuality, and how disrespectful it is when you have other people waiting for you. And I am the worst at this, I have to admit. I am not a very punctual person, but don't do what I say. Don't do what I do, do as I say, right? That's why it's good to be a teacher sometimes. Dress for success. When we go on airplane rides or wherever, we're always dressing up. And then it becomes a contest to who can wear the highest heel. And so then I got to shut all that down. But you need to teach them how to dress for success and not dress to go out like they're going to a party. You watch the way kids dress these days. Oh, if you guys have teenage daughters, my heart goes out to them, because I don't know that I would let my kid go out the door with some of the stuff that these guys wear. Yet I look back in the day, and my mom used to wear the shortest miniskirts ever, so it's hard to, it's just the generation. But there's something to say when you are traveling as a teen about teaching them about professionalism, which is important. And I teach them to stand behind their beliefs. If these guys believe in something, and they would, in college, sometimes these guys get so caught up with football players or male athletes and like, oh my gosh, I'm dating so-and-so. I'm like, so-and-so should be saying, oh my gosh, I'm dating her. And these girls get caught up in that. So get them to understand the importance of who they are. And really work to talk about self-discipline. What makes elite athletes elite is that they work out on their own. When it's unpopular, everybody's going to the mall, everyone's going to the movies, and you're saying, you know what, I need to get some swings off the tee in my backyard. Sometimes it's not popular, maybe it costs you a friend or two, but when you're going to the University of Tennessee or Florida or Oklahoma, your friend might be working at McDonald's. So you drive through, get a sweet tea, and say, oh, I'm heading off to college, see you later. So that's self-discipline that says I'm going to work extra and work on my own. With distractions, with cell phones and so forth, to me becomes a lack of creativity. Where do I get my best ideas? When it's quiet. When I'm sitting alone and I'm kind of thinking, on airplanes, or when I can get myself in a private place. How much time do these kids have for quiet time? They can't even read without putting headphones on. How do you read and listen to music at the same time? I'm not coordinated enough to do that, but I would really challenge you to find a way to give these guys a little quiet time and see what they do with it. Because they don't know how. And sometimes quiet time becomes their worst enemy, because then they start thinking, oh my gosh, what if I'm not ready for this, and you just got to get them to think good, confident thoughts. Like I was saying earlier, what I get, and what a lot of college coaches get, are kids that come in insecure, self-doubt, not a lot of confidence. They need that security blanket of their parents. And that is really, really hard to deal with. I'll tell you, one of the toughest things I deal with kids right now is fear of failure. We run a timed mile. I tell these guys that before they come, they know exactly what the time is, when we're doing it, and all summer this will wear them out. Because they know, oh my gosh, the time mile's coming. Well, just go out and train for it. It's not that hard, but it is, because there's just this anxiety. There's anxiety issues with kids, and a lot of it comes from their parents. They want to please their parents, and I can't do enough to please them. And what if I go home and now they're going to yell at me? Do you know how much that happens in today's world? And parents need to just back off and let their kids learn and grow. If you know the potion for that, let's sell it and let's try to become rich. Because I don't know how to stop that. Now, parent support is good, but to a way of, oh, you were horrible in that game. You cost the game for the team. Oh, seriously? And that's what we get. We get broken kids. They're good athletes, but their spirit is broken. And that is where you edify. That is where you get them hungry. We are also losing leaders. When I grew up, I lived right next door to a park. It was an instant free babysitting service. Because I would just get up in the morning and I was gone. I was at the park and we played. And I was the girl who was probably one of the better athletes. And when you're the better athlete, your friends come to you and say, Patty, what are the rules? And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, let's see what will work best for me. And I create the rules. Right? It's like Sandlot. You know the Sandlot show with that Rodriguez kid, right? So what are we going to use for bases? They asked me. Okay, that's how I learned how to be a leader. I don't know that I was born that way. I was very shy, but sports brought it out in me. So I was very, very quiet, but I like the fact that they needed me to figure this out. Today's kid, all right, I get emails. Coach Gasso, come watch me play. I want to let you know that I have so-and-so is my hitting coach, so-and-so is my pitching coach, he's my running coach, she is my infield coach, and I work with a sports psychologist, and I'm like, whoa, what? We're creating robots. Take your team one day, go to the field, and throw out a ball and say, how did we practice? You guys scrimmage. And walk away, go sit in the stands. You want to find out who your leaders are? Instead of voting or wishing or wondering, watch, and you'll know. Who takes over? Who wants to do this? And others are like, You'll find that out. You'll find it out. So to me, get these kids in leadership positions by just letting them figure it out. That's what I try to do in practice. As a coach, why do they want to listen to me? Okay? You may be the smartest coach in the world. You may know everything about hitting that there is. You're the hitting guru. But if you can't deliver a message to these kids, forget it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know the teacher in that? Bueller. You've heard that guy on TV before, and you're like, gosh, man, why didn't have him as a teacher, right? Boring and just methodical, show your passion, show your energy, show your commitment to wanting to see these guys get better. How do you do that? Through presentation. Otherwise, you're going to completely lose these kids. So you can know everything, but if you don't deliver it in a way that they understand and that they want to totally get involved with, you've lost them. Let me jump a little bit into this little outline here. There's a couple other things that I want to touch on with you. In the way of discipline, if you think that your kids don't want to be disciplined, they're begging for it. They're absolutely begging for it. So for me, my job is to hold them accountable. They want to be pushed. They want to be held accountable because maybe that's not happening at home. They love structure. They love organization. If you're the coach that comes out and you're still trying to figure out what's going on, they see right through that. So in order for them to give you all they have, you need to be organized. You need to have everything, all your ducks in a row and know exactly what you're doing. But at the same time, as a coach, you need to be flexible and change things on a dime when you need to. Treat them like athletes, expect them to work hard, and what I mean by that is push them. And how do I do that? We work a little bit with CrossFit training, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. We want to talk about teaching not only physical toughness, but mental toughness. That is probably my biggest issue with kids as they come in, is that they just don't have that physical or that mental drive to go right through a wall. Any of them? I mean, are all of them that way? No, but most of them have to say are. So when they come to you, I have to retrain them. I have to retrain them to learn how to be tough mentally, and I have to teach them about winning and winning being important now. Because sometimes in a travel ball game, you guys play so many games in a weekend or so many games in a day, they don't care if they won or lost, they just want to know what coaches are watching them. And winning is not super important anymore. And as they get into high school, the will to win needs to be ready to spill over into college, because that's what we do. It's kind of a cutthroat situation up there. Open communication means set up conferences with these kids. If you have a tough time connecting with one individual, have one-on-one where you guys go outside your office and maybe eat lunch somewhere. Get to know these kids. That's one thing that I really care about. These kids are my kids. I make a promise to their parents, your kids become my kids as well. And I need to get to know them. And that's how we create the relationship. Be straightforward and don't beat around the bush. Be honest, be direct with them. But do it in a way that is encouraging. And you can do that. With fairness. I'll tell you, it's important to stay away from favorites because women are like wolves in wolf packs. All right, guys, I'm just going to tell you the truth. When my kids were young, I had my players come over to babysit. And there were probably 3 or 4 that I really was not comfortable having watched my kids. But I knew that if I didn't use them, that they would start to create this, well, she likes her better, why wouldn't she use me? So I made sure that I used each one of them. Sometimes I would call the emergency service people and have them on call when these guys were watching my kids. But my team needed to know that I trusted each one of them. So if you have favorites, you will find that the team will work against you. When you promise something, you need to come through. Kalani Ricketts misses a practice, or misses a class, she does not play. So Kalani Ricketts misses a class before the University of Texas game. I need to not play Kalani Ricketts. And my team knows that. So now they're waiting to see what I'm going to do. And we as coaches want to bail out of it. So we want to go, okay, I'm just going to ask the team, hey you guys, we need Kalani. You guys want Kalani? No. They'll say no. They'll say no, don't play her. That's the rules. So whatever you promise, whatever rules you have, make sure that you keep. You guys are their avenue to college, and there's a place for any kid that wants to go somewhere. From junior college, which is a good route to go, as well as NAI Division 3, 2, 1. There's place for everybody, and it's up to you to check on these guys. I also want to tell you the importance of body language as a coach and never giving up on an athlete. If there's a kid on your team, you need to treat her like she's a superstar. And I'm guilty of this, and this is why I put this down. When I was in junior college, coaching at junior college, there was a play, I could see it vividly in my head. A girl popped up a bunt, and we needed it so bad because the tying run, or the winning run, would have been on second base. And I'm down like this, and she's my like 9-hole hitter, so you're like, oh, come on, please, just come on, just this time. Pops it up, and my immediate reaction was, and then I think I might have turned around, and just kind of, that kid, as soon as it happens, looks right at you, right? Our body language is worse than words, and they watch, and they pay attention. And that kid told me later that she saw me do that, and it really bothered her. Now, emotions have to be in check, you guys, because our emotions want to attack, or they want to show disappointment. If this kid popped up the bunt on purpose, then I should understand that she should not be on my team. I don't think she did it on purpose. I just think she didn't do a very good job of getting it down. So I got to do a better job of making sure that doesn't happen again. But they pay attention very closely to your body language. When I say keep tabs on your kids' personal lives, I don't mean be a stalker. Don't be a stalker. What I mean is you need a mole. You need to put a kid in your witness protection plan. It's true. Because I'm not going to go around